Hi there, thank you for tuning in. My name is Carrie and it is Halloween. A happy Halloween, everybody, or Samhain. I hope you're having a good one out there. Tonight actually, it's 9:25 p.m. on the 31st. So I wanted to revisit a video I did before about Kundalini versus schizophrenia symptoms. And I do have the software now that I'm using. It's touch and go. I mean, it's very laggy sometimes depending on various things. I've tried several things, several different softwares that it didn't work out, and this is the best one that I could find, and it's Snagit. And I'm at the end of my trial and I'm like, well, I don't really know if I want to pay $50 for something. And I'm eventually going to I'm thinking about getting a MacBook, and I know that they're kind of expensive, so I don't really want to pay for something here on this computer and then have to pay for something else, when I'm not even going to be using it. So I don't really know. It's up in the air. But anyway, yeah. So I did want to go ahead and do this real quick before this trial runs out. So if it starts lagging, I just tested it. I've cleared all my disk space. I've just started the computer up earlier, so I don't really know. If it starts lagging, I've only got like 4 or 5 tabs open, so I'm like, man, okay. I've seen videos out there. This woman named Cindy Courier, she does her videos, and if you watch, she's got like 20 tabs open, just sifting through them, and it's just, boom, 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 on point. And I'm like, wow, what is she using? But anyway, yeah, so okay. Schizophrenia versus Kundalini. Now I think the other one is called Believe in Yourself. And what I mean by that, if you've seen the other one, or even if you haven't, I did do a video called Kundalini versus Schizophrenia, Believe in Yourself, because when the Kundalini starts happening, you don't know what's going on, or at least for me, I had no idea. I was with people that had no idea what was going on. I didn't know what was going on, and of course, I mean, it's kind of by design for, if that was your plan for your guides to wake you up and you freak out and go to the mental institution, then that was the plan all along. But it's not fun when no one believes you, I mean, I actually said at one point during that experience, I told my sister that I was chosen, that I was a chosen one. I think I said the chosen one. And then she ended up making fun of me. She didn't make fun of me to my face, but I found out later that she was making fun of me. She said she was chosen, and I was like, ow, wow, okay. So that stings, so you're, not only are you going through that experience, but then nobody believes you. I mean, we all sit around and we're like, oh, well, we're waiting for the chosen one. We're waiting for somebody to come and save us. But when people are going, like, actually here, and they are chosen to, we're chosen for something. We're, here, if you're a starseed or whatever, you are chosen to help the ascension of the planet. So you just go through some crap. But anyway, yeah, so believe in yourself, because you're not crazy. But okay, so I'm going to show you. I just did a Google search for Kundalini symptoms, and this is what I've come up with. Okay, so this is kundalinigateway.org. And this is a very interesting article, and I'm going to post links to all of this, but this is by El Colley, The Signs and Symptoms of Awakening. This is an article, or from an article from Share Transformation. And then I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it says many individuals whose Kundalini has unexpectedly unleashed do not know what is happening, and the prevailing social ignorance about this multidimensional transformative process makes it hard to find medical or alternative health practitioners or spiritual advisors who recognize the symptoms, particularly when they are strongly physical. Many people know that risen Kundalini flings open gates to all sorts of mystical, paranormal, and magical vistas, but few realize it can also dramatically impact the body. Yeah, and it leaves your friends, I'm really going to test this out to see if it lags. But it tests, I mean, like your friends, like they don't know, your family, they're not going to know what's going on. All of a sudden you're acting totally different. You're seeing things, you're saying strange things, and they're like, what the heck's going on here? But yeah, okay, so some of the symptoms are muscle twitches and cramps and spasms. I had a lot of this, the energy rushes, immense electricity, and there was even one point where I thought that my phone was charging by itself. And I was like, do you see this? My phone's charging by itself. And of course I just sounded crazy, and I don't even think they would look to see. But itching, I kept itching at the top of my head, vibrating, prickling, tingling, crawling sensations, intense heat or cold, jerking, tremors, shaking. Yeah, it feels like something's going through your body. It really does. Now, okay, this might look kind of funny, but there's a video by Florence and the Machine called Delilah, and they're actually doing like this. Like this. They're grabbing the top of their head and they're doing like that. Well, I don't know if that looked so hot on the screen, but that's what they were doing, and I was like, what the hell is going on? And I found out like later that, because I saw that after I woke up, and I think that's what is going on in those videos, or in that video. So let's go back here. Episodes of extreme hyperactivity, conversely overwhelming fatigue. So that could be seen as like a bipolar kind of thing. Intensified or diminished sexual desires, headaches, pressure. I get a lot of pressure within the skull. Emotional outbursts, rapid mood shifts, seemingly unprovoked. Excessive episodes of grief, fear, rage, depression, spontaneous vocalizations, including laughing and weeping. Hearing inner sounds or sounds, flutes, drums, waterfalls, birds singing, bees buzzing, ringing in the ears. There's that. That's known to be, in some cases, tinnitus, a medical condition, but mainly that's ET communication. Mental confusion, altered states of consciousness. I went through that where I was like in and out. I felt like my soul was going in and out, where I didn't know what the crap was going on. Yeah, and the more you hold on to a particular belief, it can create major dissonance, because your belief system is being threatened by the thoughts and the things that are going through your head, and you don't know what's going on. Yeah, and you can just go and look through all of this. Foreign energy. Okay, so a Google search for schizophrenia symptoms is this, which is, there's more symptoms for the Kundalini than there is this. But look, delusions, false beliefs that are not based in reality. That's the foreign energy coming in that is, you know, it's giving you new thoughts. It's your guides waking you up. It's your soul saying, hey, this is not what reality is. And of course everybody around is going, well, that's not real. That's not real. When it happened to me, I was being communicated with by a black feline being, and I haven't figured out, this was 2.5 years ago. I haven't figured out their name yet. I don't really know how to do that, but guide communication starts happening, and all of a sudden you're like, what in the world? You know, a cat, what's the cat talking to me for? But delusions, that would be a delusion. But you know, it actually did happen, where I was perceiving that, seeing things or hearing things that don't exist, hearing voices. Here, you know, it's the most common hallucination, which that is guide communication. Sometimes though, and I'm going to do a video on this, hearing voices, but whenever you're hearing those voices, if they're telling you something bad, if they're telling you to go hurt yourself, if they're telling you go kill somebody, then you need to get out into nature. You need to get into some salt water, take a saltwater bath, go to the beach if you can, go to a lake, just unplug, unwind, do a cleanse your house of negative energy, raise your vibration, because those voices can be demonic or whatever you want to call it. Demon is just an energized thought form, but if you're hearing bad voices, then get out into nature and raise your vibration, and the higher you're vibrating, the higher your vibration, those lower level entities won't be able to reach you. So I just wanted to mention that. Yeah, here's a disorganized thinking and speech. You know, you've got so much energy going on, it's so fast, it's hard for that to come out of your mouth. So you're putting together meaningless words that can't be understood. Abnormal motor behavior, childlike silliness to unpredictable agitation, because you have so many thoughts going in your head, you don't know what's going on. Yeah, negative symptoms. Now, I took a shower constantly at first. I mean, I was like, I gotta get clean. This is talking about the person doesn't take a shower, they don't change their facial expression, they withdraw or lack the ability to experience pleasure. Now, when you have this energy coming through, and if you've experienced this, I could imagine that you'd sit there, I mean, and I sat there for a long time just thinking, like, you know, like just sitting there thinking. And so, I mean, it was hard for me to function normal. And of course, after 6 days of that, I did get put in the mental institution, unfortunately. Yeah. So you can go, this is on Mayo Clinic. Of course, they're going to give a run-of-the-mill view of that. But, okay, so and I'm going to post links to this as well. This is jasongaddis.com, and he reprinted an article, and the original article is from Stephanie Marone, in her book called The Natural Guide to Schizophrenia. And this is what a shaman sees, or shaman sees in a mental hospital, and it's actually a birth of a healer. And they don't see over here, they don't see that as something good. They don't recognize it as spiritual emergency, spiritual crisis, or anything like that. So I just wanted to show you this. Now I'm trying to see what would be a good part to, yeah, this is basically just talking about that with the birth of a healer, what that means is that there's energies coming in. Now, energies coming in is a big statement, because what it is spirits from the other side coming over and trying to align with you. And it's what the mental illness is an overflow of spiritual energy that can't align correctly. So that's what this article is all about, and I highly encourage you to come and take a look at it. This video is getting a lot longer than what I would like it to be, but you know, if you want to learn about this stuff, you got to put in the time, because I mean, if you want to learn something, you've got to do the research, and I'm doing that here, a little bit of it. I've already done a lot, but yeah, yeah, so indigenous cultures don't see it as a mental disorder. So to them, sensitive people don't experience themselves as overly sensitive. In the West, it's the overload of the culture that is wrecking them. So let's see, hold on. This is important. When this kind of rush occurs at a time, with schizophrenia, there's a special receptivity to a flow of images and information which cannot be controlled. That's the spiritual information. When this kind of rush occurs at a time, it is not personally chosen, and particularly when it comes with images that are scary and contradictory, the person goes into a frenzy. What is required in this situation is to first separate the person's energy from the extraneous foreign energies using the shamanic practice, what is known as a sweep, to clear out the latter of the individual's aura. With the clearing of their energy field, the person no longer picks up a flood of information, and so no longer has a reason to be scared and disturbed. Then it is possible to help the person align with the energy of the spirit being attempting to come through from the other world and give birth to the healer. The blockage of that emergence is what creates the problem. The energy of the healer is a high voltage energy. When it is blocked, it just burns up the person. It's like a short circuit. Fuses are blowing. This is why it can be really scary, and I understand why this culture prefers to confine these people. Here they are yelling and screaming, and they're put in a straitjacket. That's a sad image. Again, the shamanic approach is to work on aligning the energy so there is no blockage. Fuses aren't blowing, and the person can become the healer they are meant to be. It needs to be noted at this point, however, that not all of the spirit beings that enter a person's energetic field are there for the purpose of promoting healing. There are negative energies as well, which are undesirable presences in the aura. In those cases, the shamanic approach is to remove them from the aura rather than work to align the discordant energies. So, and this kind of goes on and on. I mean, it's a really pretty long article, and I'll let you take a look at that yourself. But there is one other video, or a video I'd like to show you. I'm just going to show you a short clip of it, and then I'm going to close this because I've just droned on and on. So, and we've got some lag. Oh, awesome. Okay, so here we go. And this is Jalailah Star. And let's see what she has to say here, and hopefully it doesn't lag here.
Hi there everyone, welcome to my weekly messages. I'm Jalailah Star. Today the topic is a higher perspective on schizophrenia. The reason I've chosen this topic today is because in the last couple of weeks I've had more than one client who came to me as a result of being diagnosed as schizophrenic by the medical mental health establishment, when in reality there was more to it than that. And my purpose and the reason the guides called them to the meeting, their guides called them to the meeting, was to help them understand what was really going on so that they could continue their work and continue their training and fulfill their purpose for being here on Earth. So let me explain a few things to you first. Most starseeds and walk-ins, I have learned over the last 20 years of counseling them, have come in pre-wired for enhanced psychic ability. Now, this would make sense if they're here on a mission and they need to be able to communicate back to mission control, so to speak. I used to think when I first started that I was the only one pre-wired. In fact, that was a term that was used when I first asked about it. I mean, how am I able to communicate like I do? And I've never had any training. They go, well, you're kind of pre-wired for it. But I found out after a while I wasn't the only one. But the problem is that some of them have more of an advanced ability than others. So let me explain it using the analogy of an internet connection. Some starseeds, and this will depend on their mission and how much they need to be able to communicate to the other side. Some will come in pre-wired to have the speed or capability or capacity of a dial-up connection, which is better than no connection, right? And then there are those who have a DSL level connection, and then there are those who have a cable broadband connection. But then there are the T1 connectors. These are people who have not a DSL, but a trunk level of connection. T1 is a type of internet connection that is used by big corporations who have a large number of computers and need to be able to move a large chunk of data across the internet, back and forth from their corporations. So there are some starseeds who have a T1 connection. And my experience has been that these are the ones who are most able, who are more likely than not labeled schizophrenic. And in some cases, they will end up in a mental institution. And it's very sad that happens. But let's go back to the case of my latest client. We'll call him Michael, because there's a part of having a T1 type of connection, and Michael certainly had one, that if you don't know how to use it properly, can get you into a lot of hot water. In Michael's case, after he awakened, he was not, he could see things on the other side. And it freaked him out because our society doesn't teach us how to handle other realities. I mean, we are firmly indoctrinated from the time we're little that this is the only reality there is, the only life there is, and we are the only beings in the universe. So there are no other realities. Now, even though quantum science, quantum physics has disproven that in more ways than one, the medical establishment still holds to the old belief systems. For the most part, a lot of religious society as a whole still holds to that to some degree, especially when it comes to mental things, to our minds. That's a scary area. We don't like to venture out of the old norm into new arenas because we don't have any education and we don't know what the rules are, for navigating other realms. That's what, guide communication.
Okay, so that's Jalela Star. Thank you, Jalela, for posting that video. I really do trust her as far as what she says. She's got a series on Starseeds, light workers, and walk-ins. If you're interested in that, just go to her channel. It's on her playlist. So we're not here to fit in with the norm. These beings that are going through this, they are peppered around, from what I can tell, they're peppered around the world, and we're providing anchor, we're anchoring the new energy for the ascension of the whole planet. So that's, whenever I say I'm chosen, that's what I meant. I mean, everybody's chosen. We're all chosen. We're all special, beings. So yeah, just hang in there and trust yourself. And if you have any questions or anything like that, you're welcome to let me know. My name is Carrie, and once again, I do apologize for all the lag. I'm doing my best to try and find some software out there, and eventually going to get a new computer and stuff like that, because this camera is just really crappy. But yeah, so I figured what a better time to do a video on energies out there than Halloween. So anyways, thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope y'all have a good one. Good night.